Alright, everybody, welcome to the 804 podcast. I'm Nick,
Justin,
Alex,
and today we have Jasmyn with us.
Yeah,
already know the one,
Cindy,
the truth.
Sorry, you know, right there you go. Right. You good? You got some?
I am good. Yeah.
Right. Alright, well, hold on. We've been doing this, man. Hold on, man. How many episodes?
I want to say,
Al, you going? Come on, man.
my good brothers have been doing this for 147 episodes. My good brothers been doing this for
148. Right.
Yeah. Trying something new. Yeah.
For sure. So nobody's gonna say anything. We just kind of.
What?
I mean, because I ask interview questions like this. I don't give a damn. I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn. Yeah. You know what? I'll wait on it. I'll wait for the shiesty this. Right? Yeah. I'll wait.
Who shiesty? Yeah.
Right. Another thing we do here as tradition, every show we have a quote of the week.
Okay.
This quote can be a song lyric, something you live by, something that was passed along to you, anything that just means something to you. And what we do here, we have you guys do it. So you got something to start us off this week. Give you something short, give you something long, anything. Right, yeah. For the homies in the streets, right? Yeah. Make sure.
I do have something that kind of sticks with me. The darker the storm, the brighter the sunshine. So that's actually a Corey John lyric, who is one of the artists that I do manage here in Richmond, Virginia, and that's off of a song that he has coming out with his album that's coming out on November 25th.
Okay.
But that is something that I do feel like really encompasses and something that we all should kind of think about, no matter what we're going through in life, the darker the storm. When you do get that glimmer of hope, that little bit of joy that comes in, it seems so much brighter. So it really makes us like take a step back, appreciate the things that we do have.
That's real.
I don't even have to ask you, what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
You just explained it, I was thinking about that like kind of earlier today. We had a kind of a team conversation earlier today. And then when I got home, I was thinking like all the stuff that you go through, the result is like supposed to be worth everything.
Right.
So I think, and honestly, if you can still say that to yourself at the end of the day, then apparently you're doing something right.
That's a good team conversation.
Right, I'm getting out of there. Right, I'm gone. I'm out. Nick, we was letting you rest, my good brother.
Yeah.
He was like, sometimes, right.
That's my
But
problem.
seriously, that's something too with what you're saying, like no matter what you're going through. If you ever get to the point where you're going through something but you just stop, but I don't think people realize when you give up, you're never going to get to where you were going. You're going to stay exactly where you gave up at it. So if you go and it's that you feel like you're at your lowest point and you give up, that's the only place where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm. There's also to kind of like ride the coattails of that. They say like with your brain, if you like quit, it's kind of like you get like complacent, like it's like okay, that's it, you're done pretty much. But I think when you like keep trying, even when you can't figure something out, but you keep trying and then like work out, it's actually like your brain's working harder to like figure out a way to kind of like get out of the situation. Kind of like being stuck, but figuring out how to get out. So yeah.
We're gonna get this interview started. Actually, I'll start off with the first question. Alright, Jasmyn, we be seeing you on the gram, we be seeing you out at events, we be seeing you here, we be seeing you there, we be hearing this. Right, everywhere, right, So if you could, in a few words or more, tell the people that they don't know by now, what do you do, if you had to say?
Yes. So, like I said, my name is Jasmyn B. I am the owner of Supreme Talent. So Supreme Talent is my company that what I do, I help independent artists that don't have the financial backing of a record label get their music heard. So I help those that they don't have the big budget, of course, of major record labels like Atlantic Records, but they can work with whoever they have coming in, and I take that money for them and I help them put it into their music to push it in the right direction. So making sure that they're not just throwing their money into something that's not going to actually get them the results that they're looking for. So I help them with things like fine-tuning YouTube ads so that their music videos on YouTube can get the views that actually matter. Because if you have a bunch of views but it's not by the people who are actually going to be your fans, what did it really do for you? So I help them with things like that, help them get performance opportunities. Like the last big show that we did, we just had Gunplay came out and he was at the Cyber4 Cafe. We gave artists the opportunity to network with him and open for him at the show. He's actually starting his own label called Animal Shelter, which will still be using the resources of Maybach Music. So the artist got to be able to meet him and he got to really listen to their music and connect with them so that when he's ready to start adding artists to that new label, he can actually reach out to some artists here in Richmond, Virginia. We also did the same thing a couple weeks ago for Def Jam. We gave artists consultations for, not Def Jam, for Rock Nation, Epic Records, and Capitol Records. And then I know we can talk a little bit about things coming up, so this is kind of ties into what we do. I do have a show coming up on October 27th, which is actually going to be in New York, and that is for the opportunity to perform, and the winner of that showcase will actually get a consultation with Def Jam.
Oh, that's what's up, yeah.
And that's going to be in New York on October 27th. And then I also have here in Richmond on November 9th, we're having BSF, which is Black Soprano Family, that is Benny the Butcher's label. So we have his newest artist, Scoob the Dog, is going to be coming here, but the winner of that showcase, he's going to be helping us pick an artist that's going to go on tour with BSF for the next 6 cities. All expenses paid. BSF is taking care of everything. They just have to show up ready in the morning and leave. So these are the kind of opportunities that I make sure that I'm bringing, not just for the artists here, but making sure anyone who's interested in being part of the music industry to be able to have those networking opportunities by bringing that here to Richmond.
Not to give another question actually. How easy is it for, like you said, with the situation with Gunplay, how easy is it for like an artist like that to just be at a showcase and hear something and really like have that connection really work?
Yeah, so as far as like networking with...
Yeah, like he heard somebody's song and that really can go to the next level. Like,
yeah,
really
so with that, because it's not... So if you are an actual artist, an actual recording artist, your number one job is being a performer. So you need to be able to, it doesn't matter if it's just one person in there, who's in there, if it's an A&R in there, or it's just a couple people, you need to make sure that you captivate that room so nobody forgets who you are. So the artists that can go there and really put their all onto that stage, and to do that, that's not something you can just show up and do. Right. You need to have been practicing, you need to have been performing at other places. That can't be your first major performance, and you expect to walk away with that kind of connection. Right. It's the same thing with anything else that people don't realize. Performing is a skill. Just like how you have to have skills with anything else with your craft, you have to constantly you have to perform to be able to get those kind of results. But he did reach out to a couple of artists I know that he met here from the Richmond show. He was interested in Corey Job, Von Wade, MFR Youngster, and who else did he reach out to? And I believe Mia Money. Oh, yeah. So for those kind of opportunities, like I said, to make the most out of it, you have to make sure that your performance, number one, is actually going to be captivating. It's going to be hard, because if you're not performing for them, it's harder to just kind of walk up to them and be like, hey, check out my song, and you're already in a venue where music is playing. Right. You know, it's going to be hard to really do things like that. Yeah. Right. But if you have a performance, the number one thing that you should do if you perform and you know that those people are in the building, go straight to them. Go straight to them, and that's what I saw a couple of artists doing, and I'm glad they took advantage of that. As soon as they got off the stage, they came straight to his section, talked to him, introduced themselves, took pictures, actually make sure they showed their Instagram and everything, so that those kind of connections go a long way, because like I said, that man is looking for artists to sign.
And then being ready too is really important. Yeah.
You have to be ready, because you get to the point where I send you out to go perform for Def Jam, and now they're looking for your EPK, for your electronic press kit. They want to see, okay, so where's your bio? Let me hear some of your music. Let's see what your music videos are like. Let me see how your performance style is like. with your aesthetic and you can't answer any of these questions for a major record label, there is no more artist development. They're gonna look at you like, well, go get that.
Yeah.
Then come back and talk to me. There's no more artist development. And that's something that's been confirmed too with multiple labels. I actually had a Zoom call that I did, and it was a free Zoom call. It's actually still on my YouTube channel if anybody wants to see it. But it was with Atlantic Records, June Jones. She's the director of promotions for Atlantic Records, and she lives right here in Richmond.
Hey, that's dope actually.
So we did a Zoom call. It was an educational women in music event where she actually told the female artists that were on the call how there is no more artist development. Atlantic Records, they completely got away with that department. So when they're part of what their A&Rs are doing, they're looking at social media, they're looking at YouTube. This is where they're going to find their talent. So you don't want to do things like inflate your numbers with fake followers because it actually ends up hurting artists. So if they see you have 10,000 followers, but only 50 people are interacting with your post, that's less than 1% of people actually like what you have going on. So that seems a bad sign. That's a bad investment to a record label.
Instagram do be telling on niggas. You can't, Instagram will kill right there. Nah, bro,
I'm really rocking that. 100 came out. Great.
But 15 people like it.
Right.
That's tough, bro. That's tough.
Yeah, man. Have you ever had to tell an artist like his stuff is like not that? Like your music is not.
Yes, unfortunately, that's a tough conversation to have. But when an artist comes to me, I know they're trusting me not only with advice. They want me to give them the guidance that's going to get them to their goal. So if you come to me as a rapper, but I say you're actually a better singer, you actually make better dance hall music, you're actually a better beat maker than you are, and that's the toughest one. I know a lot of people who make music, they want to be the one in the spotlight, not realizing that as a beat maker, you can actually, as a beat maker, a songwriter, producer, you can make just as much and many times much more. Songwriters, people don't realize that when you hear music in like TV, films, and then commercials, that's not the recording artist that gets paid, it's the songwriter. So that's
right to the
yeah. So that's because that all goes with sync licensing. That's when they have to synchronize the audio with the visual. So that's what I said: TV, film, and commercials. And then the publisher gets paid with that. So the publisher only deals with the songwriter. So let's say if you have let's just use Beyonce. If you have a Beyonce song and Beyonce didn't actually write the song. She sang the song, but she had Mariah Carey write the song for her. If it's in a TV film, if they're not actually showing Beyonce, they will have to do a separate deal with the master recording to use the master recording. That's going to go to the record label. So that's still not going to go straight to Beyonce. It goes to the record label. And then to actually use the song itself in the film, it's going to go to their publisher. So Mariah Carey would get paid for the publishing, so for the song being in it, even though she didn't sing it. And then Beyonce will only get paid on whatever's within her contract with her record label. So yeah, so that's a lot of things that I help artists understand how things like that work in the industry as well as contracts. So if any artists, if you haven't offered any contracts and you don't really understand some terminology, my door is always open and that's absolutely free because I'm not going to let you sign a deal that you don't understand.
How necessary is it for that these independent artists learn the music business?
100. If you're going to be independent, 100%. You have nobody else in the corner. So when artists want to go the route of independent, you have to realize you really are going the route of being an entrepreneur. You're going the route of treating your music as like a business. So when you're doing that, you still have to think, you have to know all parts of that business. So if you're going to be independent, but you want to still use some distribution services from like Empire or Sony, you can do that, but they're still going to have contracts for you. So if you don't understand that terminology and you don't understand what they should, what's the norm for a contract like that, you can sign over way more than you're supposed to just from not knowing.
80%. Cool. Yeah, it's like, no,
oh, did you sign that? Yeah. That's something, recently, have you guys seen what's been going on with Glorilla?
Yeah.
So with Glorilla and FNF, so with her song FNF, the producer of that song actually, he owns I think they said like 12%, or and she owns however the breakdown is, but they both own percent of it. She wants to take all of it because it's her recording, but that's just the master recording. She can't take 100%. It's in the contract, and she wants to put it on an album that's actually with CMG. But since they did that deal prior to, that's not
There's no way getting out.
Yeah, it's like she signed the contract and she's upset, calling him a snake because he won't give it to her. But in the contract she signed, he doesn't have to. Right. So it's like if you don't understand those kind of things, you find yourself in those kind of deals quite often.
That's tough.
You want?
Yeah, I got one. So for you, being a manager, like what's something that I would say, or that I guess you would say is kind of like overrated that most managers do? So something kind of common, but it's kind of like not necessarily as important as it may be made out to be.
I would say
like a negative stigma, maybe.
A negative statement on the manager?
Like a negative stigma that, negative stereotype.
Oh yeah, a stereotype of manager. Oh yeah, so there's the stereotype that manager does everything for you. I don't know where that comes from. It's like a babysitter. When your manager literally is only supposed to be handling the business side of it. Everything besides you actually getting up on that mic performing is what your manager is keeping in order for you. If you are not to the point, this is another thing, a lot of artists think that their manager is supposed to be like, kind of like, get out the mud with them. In reality, if you come to me and you want me to be your manager and you're currently making less than $500 a month with your music, I'm not open to being a full-time manager for you. I will help you with individual services. The reason being, managers only get paid 20% of what you make. That's a standard contract. So if you're coming to me, offer me 20% of $500, you want me to do how much work for $100? So, but when you put it in that perspective, a lot of artists, they want to use the manager to take them there, but that's not what the manager should do. The artist is supposed to take themselves there. So that's why you have people like myself that show you this is what you need to do to get to that next level. I'm gonna put everything out for you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. I'm gonna help you with some of this too. Right. But if I cannot want it more than you.
I have another question that just kind of popped in my head, kind of off of that. Would it be okay to have, for like, obviously, let's just use an example, the music industry, the acting industry. Would it be okay to have like multiple managers, or should you have like,
100%.
Okay, I just wanted to,
100%.
That makes sense.
If you are even for artists who are both models and also recording artists, you need different managers. Just like you will have different booking agencies, like a different talent agency for a model than you would for an actor. Same thing for music, because we're dealing with different things. Because as your manager on the music side, that's all that you want me to be concerned about. You want me to have that one track mind with this is make sure we have this in order so we can get to the next level. You don't want your manager to be doing too much stuff, because then it's going to put even more on you to have to get it. It's already on you to make sure that you're getting things done, but the whole point of you having a manager is to help you with what you're getting done. The manager doesn't pull you along, they're supposed to help guide you. But yeah, so you definitely would need, if you're like an actor or a model, you would need separate managers for that.
Yeah. I was just curious about that. Yeah, just wondering.
I got one. So I'm assuming you know your music history. So as a manager, what's one of the worst contracts you've ever heard an artist say?
So I would have to say actually a publishing contract. So everything that you did as a publisher.
Lord.
As a music publisher, I don't even know how they allow this to happen.
You got away with it, boy.
have artists that don't understand what publishing is. So most time when I talk to artists, they don't even know that the publishing exists. They think that it's only the record label. So they signed, Diddy as their publisher took 100%. He had 100% of publishing for Biggie, publishing for
Mace.
And then they come out later, so like, you know, the whole situation with Mace where he's saying like, oh, well, Diddy stole, he didn't, you signed.
You signed that big bro.
You
Yeah.
signed. And that's, it's crazy because another thing why nobody, when the money was good, nobody asked questions because Diddy was literally making like, he's getting checks, those sync licensing checks from their songs being in movie and TV and film, and and commercials. So when he's getting that money, he's coming in, he's got like $500,000 checks here and then go buying them like a Lexus or something. Just throwing in like a little, like, he's doing that, but he's still keeping.
Hold on. I mean, basically, we already kind of established this, but this nigga, honestly, probably was signing publishing deals on their behalf.
He was
Jesus.
He was their
So, hey, Tony, let's talk. Yeah.
he handled all 100%.
Because I didn't really, like, I knew that, but like,
Damn.
as a business owner, yeah, making a whole deal on somebody else's behalf, that's it. So is Mason showing up today? Nah.
No,
It's just us. Yeah. Sign the paper. Right?
But they're allowing him, they already signed the rights for him to be able to do that.
Man.
So it's like, as far as an artist, if you don't understand the business side of the industry, that's how things like that happen. You have instances like with NBA YoungBoy, where he made, I'm sorry, it's not funny, I'm sorry. He made like 20 or something crazy amount of albums in a very short time frame. They only asked for 5.
And they only count them as actual studio albums.
Well, because with it, his deal has 2 components in it. It had the number of albums that he needs to satisfy, and then the length of time. So just because he made 20 within that length of time, he wants to look at like, oh, you guys only asked me for 5, but they're not going to give him his masters for any of them because it was all within the time under that contract. So he's doing that, trying to be creative and expressive, and realizing he's not getting paid.
I got a question. So you saying even after he does the 5th album, because he didn't give it to them?
He chose to continue to make more.
But couldn't he like save it or like?
Yeah, he could have.
So the time period of which the contract expires is the main point.
So
Second point.
It gave him 2 options. He could do, I think his contract was under like 5 or 6 years, and they wanted 5 albums. They wanted an album per
every year. And
He did 20.
Flooding the streets. That shit
He
don't
did
work.
20.
Yeah, records and labels don't like that shit.
He did 4 times as many as he asked, but when he wanted to get them back because he said, you guys only asked for 5, and they're like, you're still all this music that you're making right now, that's still under this contract. So he still wasn't able to get the masters from
If
that.
I'm not mistaken, like they're not counting a lot of those mixtapes as like studio albums or something. That's another thing. So like you can make as many mixtapes as you want, nigga. We said albums. So and then like apparently there's like a set time for how long an album should be.
Yes.
And like how I don't think tracks matter, but it's the runtime.
An album does need to be more than 5.
Okay, yeah, more than 5 tracks, and then I forgot the minute or something like the minute thing. But yeah, like that's crazy how they could just be like, nope, that's not happening. Yeah, I don't like that.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, Feed the Streets 18. Yeah, that's nice, but yeah, I mean we need that album, buddy. Yeah. So.
And with that, they were still getting paid from the mixtape.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So he's not able to get.
Appreciate it.
It's like if you don't understand what's happening, you're signing these papers, you're getting these advances, and that's where some of the disconnect happens. Is everyone knows about the cash advance that you get when you first sign, but an advance is just like if you want to think of it like a payday loan. It literally is a loan. So the record label is acting as a bank where like, okay, by signing this, we'll go ahead and give you
So when
$2
these
million.
rappers are signing a deal and putting the money up to their ears.
And that's all that they have to eat until their next deal.
Yeah, to eat. Yeah, that's it.
So
Right.
what's one of the best contracts you've seen an artist sign?
I am not against record labels at all, but I do see that with the way that the industry is changing, is a lot easier for someone to be successful independent. I personally think distribution deals are the best for right now. So a distribution deal is going directly to like Empire, not Empire as far as recording studio, but Empire as a distributor, Sony as a distributor, using those major distributors to as opposed to CD Baby and DistroKid. Instead of those, you're using Sony. So you're going to have to pay, like, they have deals for artists where they will, instead of having them pay to use the services, they will give them a deal just like they would for a record label. So you can get paid from a distribution deal, but it's in advance. And they're still going to, once your royalties come in, they're going to hold on to it until they get their money back. But if an artist wants to remain independent and really wants to push the music and keep creative control, I think distribution deals 100% are going to be the best way to go.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in a bad deal where, like, the record label's getting most of the money, most of the royalties, most of the rights and things like that, so they're getting most of the money from the deal. Who's usually, like, do you know how that money is kind of divided inside of the company who has control of the,
Yes. So if it's going to be depending on the type of deal, like even if we just say if it's a horrible deal like a 360 deal where it literally a 360 deal means any money that you have coming in of your name, we get.
Thanks,
They can have access to all of that. So in a situation like that, so they're going to look at first how much money was spent on the artist, whether it was for their advance. That's the first thing that they're going to try to recoup. They're going to try to do that first. If they needed to pay any extra expenses for travel, hotels. So you see these artists traveling, they're paying
Big balling,
fancy.
right? Yeah, big balling. Yeah,
we're going to take this money back before we pay you.
Yeah, balling.
Keep doing all of that.
Right, yeah. Young Mick, right? Yeah, young Mick out here. Yeah, that's the artist for today. Yeah, that's what we're talking about today.
As the artist makes money, they kind of have a little reserve that they put for the artist. So there's something in all contracts, and they'll put something called like a floor. There's going to be both the ceiling and the floor. Mm-hmm. So the floor is going to be if you sell below this number. So if this album actually turns out to flop, we're just going to kind of put this together for a reserve, and we're not going to keep coming after you after a certain point as far as the money. So they'll just leave it to count it as a loss, and they'll be able to take it out of your next deal. Either your next album under that contract. So they'll put, as the artists are, so for the artists that are in 360s, where it's coming from, it's from the music, from clothing lines, from all of this, they're taking all of that money and putting it into a reserve just in case that artist's next project doesn't actually sell as well. They use that money instead of giving it to the artist.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Sounds like a game of covering your ass.
It's like you can think of as from the moment that artist is signed, after they get their cash advance, they have their own savings account for that artist. So kind of like a emergency fund for that artist, and the artist will not be able to get any more money until both they have been recouped from the money that they gave them, and they have the savings account at a decent number for where they're happy.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, a pimp. That's the better. I'm sorry. That's the better now. Okay, my bad. Yeah, go ahead, make my play. I didn't say it, but yes. I mean, it's a pimp with a contract that you signed. So yeah. I'll take it back a little bit, because we need to get these topics. Mm-hmm. How did you start? What got you into music management?
Yes, so funny thing, I actually used to be a scientist.
Hey! Respect! So,
from a fellow scientist.
Right. From my fellow PhD, yeah.
So I was a virologist. So I was a vaccine scientist and a virologist.
Okay.
So out of school, I was in the virology lab, and I first started with working with a vaccine with Pfizer for pneumonia. It was one of their pneumonia. I was working for the state. I actually was a virologist for the state, and that was like boring. But then COVID happened, and it was the most stressful job I've ever had. I was in tears almost at the end of every day, having long hours, not able to get back.
You gotta be on point. Like, yeah, you gotta be quick to it. Yeah.
But that's how exactly how it made me feel, and it was my passion that I had for science. I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't want to be there. I'm doing all these long hours, and we have everything going on with COVID, and other people are working from home, but I have to be in the lab.
Oh yeah.
And then I had a few friends who work in the industry in Atlanta, and I'm talking to them about my day. I'm, almost in tears, and they're like, "Yeah, I stayed at home, and I did this, and this is like they were telling me from my day what I did with data analysis that is going to be very similar to understanding on the A&R side as far as how data works, how you can actually look at streaming data." The YouTube and see how these trends are going to understand which artist is going to be the next artist coming up. What type of sound is going to be is what people are really into right now. So if you can always stay on top of that, then you can always find the next talent. So it's like we're at a point now where, because social media has just taken over the way it has, for being an A&R, yes, it is about the music, but they look more at data than just about anything else. So I started working my friend, they actually let me intern with them down there in Atlanta. And so from there, I started helping them with their shows. They would have music networking events where I interned under them. And I started helping artists get performance slots onto those events. And so from there, I actually it's one of those things where the music industry is so small. Once you meet a couple people, that's everybody knows everybody. So from there, that's where I started working with 2Official for quality control music, and started doing more shows, and that's how I actually became the Richmond stop. Was actually through there. So that's how I got started going there. It was a really weird transition for me, going from working in the lab to now being in a studio, which it was incidentally also called a lab.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, a lab, yeah.
So it was just, I just traded one lab for another pretty much. But from doing that and working with the artists and understanding how marketing works, that's what I was able to do here in Richmond. So seeing that there's so much talent here in Richmond, not understanding why we can't be as successful as other places. And that's one of the things we were talking about earlier, where it's a crabs in a barrel mentality for the music scene here in Richmond, where no one really wants to see somebody else succeed before them. People get nervous and they want to tear down that person out of fear that they're not going to be able to make it. So with that, if we really started to work together like the way that they do in other big music cities like Atlanta, that's a completely different culture. We can't even make the comparison, because that's the type of place where you can go to an open mic and it's packed full of people just like it's a club night, because they're coming to support their local artists. Here in Richmond, you guys know how it goes.
I got one question for you.
I was waiting.
If artist comes up to you, this is a more personal question. So I guess this is, advertise yourself. This is an advertising type of question for you. Someone says, Jasmyn B, I've seen your Instagram. I've seen who you work with. All that is nice. Why should I trust you with my music?
All that is nice.
Yes. So I actually get that, of course, I get that all the time, but that's something that I encourage. But if anybody's going to ask me, I'm the same way with my money. If I'm going to say that I'm going to pay somebody to help me, I want to know when am I going to get out of this. So what I do is I make sure that they understand what it is I can do for them. So I will actually break down, like, if you give me that you give me this much of a budget to work with, this is the exact kind of plan that I can actually do for you within the budget that you're working with. If we're going to dwindle it down, we can dwindle it down, but I need to let you know certain things we're not going to be able to do. So as long as the artist comes to me with just a number, then I can give them a breakdown of what the results that they're going to be able to get
Here's
out of that.
$300 million.
Oh, perfect.
Come on, Nick. Yeah, you got that. Yeah. So that's what I'm
There's actually something that a lot of people don't know about this story. I only manage, full-time manage one artist, and that artist, we actually got him signed within less than a year, and he wrote me out the deal.
Huh?
He wrote me out the deal. As soon as he got the deal, he wrote me out the deal as the manager.
So who we gotta go get?
Yeah. Go ahead and name drop real quick.
So who we gotta go get? Real quick. So who we running out?
Yeah. You know how we get down.
I'm not going to name him, but I will say he got signed to another artist. The artist that he got signed to, his name, Fresco King. It's Fresco King. He was a songwriter. He wrote two Mariah Carey songs, and then he became a artist himself, and did a couple of songs and everything. Now he was signing artist, so he got signed to Fresco King, and as soon as he did, wrote me out. So I always tell artists, so if you really want to know how much money does it take for you to get signed, just on that smaller, it's a smaller label, but he did still get a cash advance. He had $500,000 cash advance for his first one. That's a small. But for that, we got him that with, it was about $85,000. No, it was about $85,000.
That do-rag cost about $2 million. Yeah.
But if you look at it like an investment, he put in 85 and got back 500.
Yeah. You still gotta pay that. But yeah. Well, don't worry. We'll hear when we get the cameras. We'll do it.
You'll get back in that deal. Yeah.
Right.
Somehow, who put in, who put in,
Actually,
who put in crayon, Jasmyn B.
Actually, I'm gonna need about, 300,000. You're right.
Get out of my office.
But that was for me though, that was a life lesson, because that was before I started working with artists as heavily here in Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
The number one thing that I wanted to make sure that I tell all artists, have contracts in place. You have to have, when business, you can't think about how close that you may be with this is my boy, so he's a feature on this song, but we don't have to have a contract. No, even if he's not charging you, you guys need to have contracts for every single feature. Everything that you're doing with music, whether if you got beats from anybody, they just gave you a beat for free, that's cool. We get a contract that says that they're giving this to you without a payment, and how much royalties they can expect to collect if this does blow up.
Even if it just says, I'm not giving him anything.
Even if it says I'm not giving anything, you need to have
At all. Yeah. Period. Yeah.
Because you don't want someone to say, oh yeah, you can. I'll go ahead and sign saying, you don't need to give me anything for this. And then it turns out to be a situation like F&F where it's the number one song. You're like, hey, well, that was me.
I guess are there any ramifications or anything? Like, let's say it's like, oh yeah, I don't want nothing, and let's say you just give them some just off of good faith or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else you would have to do. That would just be a gift or whatnot.
So yeah, that would be something that's outside, because since you don't have a contract, it's outside of the contract.
Okay,
so it really would just be a gift.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what, if artists, for all artists that are working with beat makers and working with producers, please get exclusive rights. Get exclusive rights to your beats. Doing the whole leasing beats thing, it can get very messy, especially if you want to work with somebody like myself as far as publishing. Because when we go to try to put your song into the TV or film, if you have a leased beat and they're blocking, saying that you have to have their permission before you do it, I can't do anything with it.
Because you always have to go back every single time.
Right.
And
So
you have to get a cut too.
So we would have to figure out exactly what you all had for a separate deal for how much they're going to get paid, but all of that has to be taken care of before it can even make it to anybody down the line.
Anything else we need these topics?
Well, I know Diddy's gonna get this video removed.
Diddy said, hey, go ahead and just, yeah.
Well, HB, speaking of Diddy getting things removed allegedly, let's talk about y'all boy Mr. Ye, Mr. West. Last week we obviously covered the whole White Lives Matter t-shirt debacle schmackle. And this week he's saying your boy George Floyd didn't die from the coppers. He died from fentanyl. And us black people need to stop feeding into things like that, because that's the propaganda that they want us to feed it. Don't look with me, nigga. That's the problem. Jasmyn, we can start with your take, just in general about what Ye's doing. If you want, you can even go back to last week, since we didn't have you.
Remember, he dropped College Dropout.
I'm weak. And that was the main argument that they just had earlier today. Right, let's not forget.
No, it's inexcusable. When you get to a certain point where you only have yes people around you, and I think that's what's happening with Kanye West. You only have people around you that are going to agree with everything that you say, everything that you do, because of the amount of the money, the power that he has around people around him. Of course they're going to just agree with everything he's going on. He's lost that perspective, in my opinion. We've all seen ever since his mother died. There's kind of been a decline. So I think that all of that is 100% inexcusable. Kanye West, you know better. Your mama taught you better. Stop doing this.
Well, Nick, if you wanted to go ahead.
That's tough to see, I'm not even gonna lie. It's like his fall off just happened so fast.
And I think, like, for so many years, we try to be like, he's gonna pick it up. Like, he's gonna pick it up. Like, he's gonna pick, he's gonna pick it up. No, he dropped the alley, so he's gonna pick it up.
And it's like he'll do certain things, and it's like he'll have this one moment where it's like, damn, that's the Kanye that I.
God damn it! He dropped some new shoes. He might be back. He took a picture of Michael Jordan. Oh, he might be back.
Yeah.
And then he white.
Does he still have his Yeezy too? Does he still have
That's
his
his company, so yeah, like he bought it from Adidas. Now, and honestly, they ain't been too hot, to be honest, to suffice for all this, nigga. So yeah, the streets aren't even on. You see, I got the white boy, he kicks on myself. That's how we feel. Yeah. But yeah, my fault, Nick. Go ahead.
That's pretty much it. And plus, Donda wasn't even that good.
Damn.
I had to say.
Had to, right? Yeah, that had nothing to do with anything. Right?
It just wasn't. It really wasn't. I'm sorry.
And that nigga beats terrible. Mr. Alfred, my good brother.
Just tough, cause I didn't actually know about the comments. So yeah, that's tough though. Yeah, that's just kind of wilding out here.
But George Floyd's family is suing him for $250 million.
Golly!
Respect.
Great! Yeah.
I think they should go a little higher.
Nick, don't you have though? Yeah.
And they gonna get close to him up. I hate to say it, they gonna get that. I hate to say it. Yeah, Nick, tough, I agree. The thing with Ye, and I was having this conversation with him again earlier today, and I was like, I feel like Ye has messages, but he's just the worst in like conveying them. So it's to the point where I can't even I really wasn't too much of a defender of him, but I always value somebody's other point. Mm-hmm. Whether it's erratic, whether it's this, whether it's that. But honestly, these days, and like HB was talking to HB earlier, you don't even know what this nigga's point is anymore. So honestly, it's just really, really, really tough, bro. You don't know what his constant point is anymore.
It's just random facts.
Yeah, it is. So it's just
we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care that you know who the real Jews is now.
There
He's already been there.
There you go. And then like part of that shit too, people be like, that's that billionaire talk, like he's so removed, maybe, but still like, yay.
Read a book.
Ain't you from South Shore Drive, bruh? Like, ain't you from Chi-Town? Like,
Gotta stay grounded.
you know what I
Sometimes.
mean? Harold's chicken, my nigga, like I thought. You know what I mean? Mao sauce, like I thought. Let me stop. She got like you can't. I don't know. HB. Not before you go HB. Apparently, he had the Drink Champs interview where he said all this, and it got taken down by revolt, right?
As it should.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say agree with that. You should. Actually, it's funny because our boy Randy Wilson even tagged us in something earlier, saying kind of like, "Do you agree? Y'all agree with me? Took it down now?"
I mean, I get it that it's like.
And apparently, it wasn't.
It's like journalism, so you're supposed to allow it. But at the end of the day, if I own the network, I'm not about to let you talk trash about me on my network. You're not about to come in my house and mess my house up. No.
Me and my publishing deals, right? 1990, yeah. Me and money, more problems. But yeah, I'm sorry, what point I was ready to go off of, I kind of forgot, but yeah. Well, another thing too about that whole thing is apparently the episode came out it was out for like what, a day?
Yeah.
So like you can easily go on YouTube right now and see the whole thing that somebody probably was recording. So like unfortunately that ain't going nowhere. But yeah.
That is shit. Anything on the internet is permanent. We already knew that. So.
It's funny, niggas got the clips. It's funny how the episode is gone, but we got the clips. We got the bar clips that we need. So yeah, that's ironic. Yeah. Ain't saying man. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think the black community boy. Yeah, I don't think you gonna get that one back. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. But then again, we've said that before. So what do we know? Y'all want to right?
Like he's not married to a Kardashian.
You gonna see what?
We're gonna act like he did marry Kardashian. Now we supposed to help him?
We don't talk
Fuck
about that.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I'll get a Jesse Wonders and we can get a ride.
What does?
You're not gonna let HB talk about his Eagles?
Oh, I was gonna say that for last, to be honest. I'm not looking forward to it, if you want me to be honest. But yeah, I got you before the shoutouts. I got you.
What does Jesse wonder? Why do we get in trouble for talking in school? Just kind of thinking that.
Like, why do we like y'all never got in trouble at school just for talking? Like, you ain't fighting nobody, you didn't even say nothing disrespectful. You was just talking too much.
Both of us did.
Yeah, like I said, like you go home, they called your mom and everything, and then like your mom, what you do is what you doing for talking?
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
Because kids have a tendency to zone out of other conversations, so it's like a whole bunch of talking at the same time. So really nobody's saying that. You know what I'm saying?
So class disruption, I guess you'd say.
It's what they probably sum it up to. Yeah, he was disrupting that sounds so,
That's crazy.
I guess the word disruption, I guess, if you...
If I want to disrupt the class.
There you go.
I think I'm gonna cause a disruption,
I can disrupt the class.
Stop, Nick, stop playing. And this is 8-year-old Nick saying this.
You want me to disrupt the I'm confused. You wrote on my paper class disruption. Now I can show you a disruption. Or,
get it, and now you're really disrupting. Right, because you went up to the...
No, come here. Oh my God.
But yeah, that is just ironic. Like, I can just look back now, so, yeah. Like, or when, the day we had kids or whatever, just looking down at their report. Their whole report card, A's, but talks too much in class. It's like, damn.
I have a preschooler, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you about to get those, I guess a couple years, Son
Really talk.
Daughter.
Oh, yeah. Nick, your son. Yeah, Nick Jr. has decided that he took it upon himself.
He said he would make a bigger disruption.
That's my Jesse Wonders. Let's go ahead and get into it. Jasmyn, you watch football? Your family watch football? You got any teams or anything?
I don't.
Did you grow up with a team or anything like that?
Yeah, my dad used to really like. I know a lot of people don't like this team, but the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, like I heard, I heard like snoring or something in the background. All I heard was Dallas. Yeah, so I'll let you be. Nick, you wanna go ahead and do your thing, my brother?
I currently don't watch football. The Yankees are in the playoffs, so that's what I'm paying attention to. Basketball has started back, so the Yankees won. So we play the Astros tomorrow. So
Facts, but we're on football. And
doesn't
you're
matter.
capping.
I don't watch football.
We told you at the beginning of the season.
Don't watch football.
It was trash for y'all. Did we not? We said James.
It's still 11
It's
weeks
a
left.
human.
That's wild, man. It's still about 18 right there.
No, I can't let HB get away with that.
First of all, he painted you. You know,
Hold on. Let's all silent for a second. Cause let me get on you real quick. We got 11 weeks left. We got y'all week 17. We're gonna come into Lincoln Financial Field. I hope and pray to the good Lord above, or Allah, or whatever you believe in, that y'all are still undefeated, so we can bust y'all ass up in Lincoln Financial Field. You know what? You just piss me off, HB. I got you for that. I don't care about y'all record. We're coming for y'all niggas. And I hope Jameis Winston, Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry is healthy as fuck. So Jameis Winston can throw so many touchdowns on y'all niggas. I don't care if it's Slay, Garner Johnson, or whatever other defensive. It don't matter. I don't care who it is in y'all defensive back. We're coming for y'all niggas. We're frying y'all niggas. And we're mossing all y'all niggas.
That's funny how you went from, I don't have a football team.
Our polo was in season. Nah, you debated you on that one. I'm glad y'all do pay them so good. Mr. Alfred. Actually,
got it done. Yeah, I ain't watching the game, but you know, we're on the road and
We're
winning.
watch y'all game.
Polo is what I'm saying. Spit on yourself.
But we're winning that Super Bowl. You know how we do.
You even have the ESPN app on your
Saints
phone.
fan, Steelers fan. Right, yeah.
Steelers,
Mhm.
And we're about to get our 7th ring.
No, do you have ESPN on NFL app?
It don't matter because when we win, and I come in here in my Troy Polamalu jersey,
How do you find out
talking
y'all
my
win?
shit, bro.
You even know y'all record?
Okay, so
Hey, when it hits on time, it's in mud.
yeah.
Amen, say man,
We beat the Bucks, so yeah.
New York Giants, we're not playing around, man. Eagles, we'll get to y'all. I don't know why we wait to play y'all till week 11. I think they're trying to cushion y'all niggas. I don't know what that shit is. We'll see y'all when we see y'all. I'm not worried about that right now. 5-1, Saquon, you're back. The kid, Thunder thighs, you know what I mean? You know what time it is. We already getting it in. Follow your foreign. The Yankees winning, goddammit. New York stand up. We here.
Power.
The Knicks might not be ass. Yeah, power.
Yeah.
No, not about the Knicks. But that's what I was saying. NFC
You
East.
got the Brooklyn Nets.
We do. I'm gonna let you talk about that, my brother. Yeah, because I need everybody to show up to work. Yeah, but yeah, man. I don't even want to talk too much shit, but I do want our respect. I just want our respect, man. 5-1, bro. 5-1. Who would have thought? Beat the Packers. Beat Tennessee.
Yeah, 1-1.
Minnesota is 5-1. Buffalo bad with Tennessee. But yeah. And honestly, Minnesota's alright. I don't even know. Fuck all that. Baby. We're not playing no more. We just need to see Washington. Dallas, y'all ass. Like, I was at the bar watching the Dallas and Philly game, which was comical, bro. Which I never laughed so much in my life, because I wanted both of them to lose terribly. But Dallas fans, they still talking shit. That's why we beat y'all. Them niggas down HB. Talking about we still beat y'all. Eagles fans, Dallas fans, Washington fans, y'all are ass. Eagles, Axman, waiting to happen.
The Eags.
Go ahead, HB. Talk your shit, buddy.
We go ahead and get on the camera.
Alright, nothing but the 804
Alright. 6-0.
Golly.
You wanna sit down?
The only undefeated team still.
You wanna sit down?
Yeah, let me take a seat.
Nick got up.
Let me take a seat. Yeah, so we 6-0.
Right.
You feel me? Undefeated. You text me on some how I feel.
I was laughing the whole game.
And what happened? You got that W.
Hey, it was looking scary in that third quarter, man. It was looking scary.
Yeah.
You ain't trying to hear that shit?
I ain't trying to hear that.
So what is the record?
We had it all in the plans, you feel me? All we needed was 24 points. They ain't beat 24 points yet. You feel me? So, y'all, we not sweating y'all.
Not worried about it.
Nah.
So it's anti-NFC. We only lost to Dallas by some bullshit. Like,
Yeah, we not worried about them. We just smoked Dallas. What are we talking about?
I should have said that. Right, you got me on that one. Yeah, you got me.
I think we play y'all next. Or somewhere coming up after the back.
You don't want to play us.
Yeah.
You don't want to play us. Right? You don't want to play us.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot, right?
Man, like
Man, all I'm saying is, it smells like another Super Bowl season. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? NFC Championship.
But
Alright, well, okay.
you might have to lose to the Steelers.
Alright, I got one question. So who in the NFC mess with y'all then?
New Orleans. What you talking about?
I'll let him answer, Nick. As obvious as that answer is. Right, yeah. Right, yeah.
Of course.
Who might give y'all the biggest challenge?
Yeah, Jasmyn, who might give him the bit? No, I'm right. Yeah.
Not in the NFC, nigga.
Nobody. What are we talking about?
God, I hate y'all niggas so much.
And then we go see them in the Super Bowl, and that's gonna be it. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
What was the Super Bowl?
Yeah, be before the game and everything, Jazz. You know how Philly niggas get down. I can't stand y'all niggas. Oh, you see Will Smith out there? Right, yeah. Can't stand y'all niggas. You see Rocky out there? Right, yeah. Bruh, I cannot stand it either, man. That is just one team, bro. Turn that shit off, man. Golly, right, yeah. I'm gonna have an ear infection. Get the hell out of here.
Jasmyn, I got a question for you. So far 2022, this is another music question. What has been your favorite albums from Richmond artists?
Favorite albums from Richmond artists?
Or favorite just projects?
One of my favorites is a new one that had Small World, and it's I believe his name is PGB Renegade, and they did like a rock rap project. And so for me growing up, I was like a big Avril Lavigne fan. So like hearing that, for me, I really enjoyed it. So
The Avril Lavigne back then, y'all. I love you so much, baby.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I just want to see your skin, Avril Lavigne, not that. Yeah. Are y'all know the scandals from?
What happened? I don't follow Avril Lavigne.
I looked up me.
No.
well, there's also like a scandal about her saying that she died a while ago and she's actually switched to somebody else. But
honestly, I didn't know that.
I'm realizing that's like a common thing in like white people music, like somebody been replaced, because they said something about the same thing about the dude from the Beatles, and then like, if you go look at the picture, it got something like NPR, like, been replaced, it's supposed to like, been missing person or something like that, it's supposed to stand for something like that. I don't know. I just don't understand what it is about like, them and missing people, and
well, when they're in the industry and they can keep making money off of them, it's funny though, because I feel like I don't want to talk too much about it, but I feel like in the hip hop industry, when you can really make money off of hip hop artists more when they die.
But is it that easy to replace somebody?
Because they keep trying to make
Now to replace,
Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be that easy to.
They be doing it like people pop Tic Tacs. You know? How you do that?
So what happened with Avril Lavigne? Is that like...
Yeah, so they said that there's like a whole conspiracy theory, because I was like a fan of her growing up, but conspiracy that she died, I believe, in like 2006, and she was replaced with an actress whose name was Melissa. I forgot her last name.
Melissa.
But when they showed the pictures, it was a kind of similar situation when you were talking about, but like Avril used to have like 3 moles and they're like in the wrong spots, like the moles have been, like they moved. So they have like that, like the face it does look like maybe she just had like a little bit of surgery done, but her voice actually sounds, when you play the original, like her original songs, when her singing it sounds completely different. Yeah, it's a little
Conspiracy, my brother.
Yeah.
My good brother.
For sure. Oh yeah, but no, I did actually see that project on Instagram. So.
Oh yeah,
Shout out
with
to
the
you,
teacher.
Yeah, of course. Alright. We'll stall for like 3 minutes. Right, yeah, my boys, right, we good? Alright, we get these announcements and we can get up out of here. I guess we can start with you guys and then we'll go around the table.
Yes.
Any dates, any shoutouts?
Yes, so I do have 2 things coming up. On October 27th, there's an opportunity to perform in New York for Def Jam. And then on November 9th, here in Richmond, Virginia, at the Cyber 4 Cafe, we're going to have Black Soprano Family, who is Benny the Butcher's label, is going to be picking an artist to take on tour with them for the remaining, all expense paid tour to the remaining 6 cities. So that's an amazing opportunity. Amazing opportunity.
So we're gonna get Griselda next? That's what you're saying? Yes, sir. New members. Right, yeah. Alex, what's your name?
Coming on stage.
Right. Yeah, anything else?
Oh, that's it.
Alright. Then you got anything?
More filming. It's been a grind. You know. We was at where was I on Saturday? I was at Armstrong filming. So, you know, other than that, yeah, Armstrong, East End.
You know, because Jasmyn, all we do is do podcasts. We don't do anything else outside. That's all we do,
We sleep and breathe and eat here.
But you know what? I'll tell you one thing. I got a new perspective of a lot of those city schools going to Armstrong. It was interesting talking to the coach there. So, you know, shout out to you, Coach Watts.
Thanks.
One other thing. It's not really an announcement, but also my birthday's coming up.
Hey, happy birthday! Happy 25th birthday!
Alex, come on, 24!
All right, 24,
What day?
That's November 1st, so the day after holiday.
That's crazy. My sister's November 2nd. So,
I guess we got
I'm weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's your announcement.
Okay, yeah. Y'all. Boy. Yeah. Golly, y'all, if y'all ain't got y'all taxes done yet, my good people, you're kind of big wild, no cap. But
So what can they do then? Besides them wilding, what can
right. Besides you wilding right now, cause you're wilding, and I pray to God you don't know. But we'll go ahead. They can go ahead and come see your boy at Fiscal Fitness Tax and Financial Services. That is Fiscal Fitness Tax and Financial Services. Jesse, go ahead and ask me that question.
Yeah, I be strolling through the city, strolling through the south side.
Wildin'.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know why I agree with that.
Right.
Yes, officer. Yeah. But we strolling through south side, man. Where we at?
Yeah, so just yoke me up real quick. 2650 Hall Street Road, y'all. 2650 Hall Street Road. Right at the intersection of Midlothian and Hall, the split. So yeah, we're not like down the street from Southside Plaza.
Who's the proud owner of this establishment? This black-owned establishment.
Yeah. Home cooked. Been doing taxes over 30 years. Y'all,
Okay.
my father, Derek L. Out. Derek L. Out.
Gotta clap it up, right?
Facts.
You said home cook. You said y'all would do this outside of your business. Is everything
Home cook.
Home cook. Yeah.
Southern hospitality.
Right, yeah, we got that Southern. Yeah. But yeah, y'all, you know, real proud of him. He has his book out, The Intangibles of Business Success, 20 Beans. It's on Amazon. Also, you can hit us up and we got copies. We can get you a signed copy. But yeah, Derek Alfred, he's the owner and founder, been doing taxes over 30 years. Can also help you with financial planning and whatnot. And if you have a small business or whatnot, a nonprofit, he can help you out with that as well too. So really proud of him. You know, we've been working hard. You might catch a boy in there. I'm there some days too, doing taxes as well.
So you were the one that messed up my taxes.
Tighten up. Yeah, tighten up. Yeah. Tighten up. Hey, have they got out the car yet?
Yes.
No.
People in suits have gotten out of the car.
No, we might need to go handle that real quick. Yeah, but don't worry
So
about it.
physical fitness does something else.
And we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there, y'all. We handle problems. Let's just say that, yeah, to say the least. Yeah. Officer, just stay outside.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about us. Yeah. Get back in the car. Yeah. But yeah, proud of you. Love your mom. Love you, A. Yeah, love y'all. Jasmyn, thank you for coming on.
Of course. Look, say the same thing. Start off. Shout out to Jasmyn for coming on. Of course. Trap, she already told you beforehand, right, been getting you on the show, brother. Now, Alex might have some smoke with you. I don't know, but I'm just letting you know. I'm showing my face. I ain't got no smoke.
Yeah.
So, might want to give Alex that right. Yeah.
You might want to give me,
That nigga owes an iPod Touch.
Right.
Store. We started,
An iPod, Apple TV, iPad,
Niggas need a GameCube, right?
PS5, yeah.
Whatever it is, right? You know what we need all that.
LMNOP, yeah.
Shout out to, like I said, shout out to Jasmyn for coming on. Obviously, big person doing big things in the city. Shout out to us, like Nick said, with our filming. Nick on the documentary side, me out on the film side. Shout out to everybody you're working with. Projects coming out soon.
Specific shout out. The Stuttering Poet. My guy, you be doing your thing out here. And y'all know when y'all know, we gotta drop something to do the project with her. So yeah.
Thanks. I don't think I got much else. Shout out to HB.
Yeah.
Shout out Bandit Brand.
Facts.
Drops coming soon, my boy.
Facts.
Coming soon. Alright, get it out here, Nick.
Oh, I got one more music question for you. How smart was Master P for his
I think Master P actually was very smart. The way that he handled things as far as like building a brand. You know, was he the best rapper? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what was he smart with what he did as a brand and what he actually showed his kids to do for a brand. Definitely.
Real quick, y'all. Shout out Swagger. Show on Apple TV. O'Shea Jackson Jr. is in that. Got a few other people in that. Yeah, Bandit Brand. Yeah.
Putting Richmond on.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, putting Richmond on. Y'all can't say too much, but yeah. Shout out Swagger. Check out season 1 on Apple TV. Swagger.
You talking about you can't say too much? No, really, you cannot say too much.
Yeah.
Somebody let it go. Can you himself? Yeah, get your ass. Right, get your ass up out of here.
Facts.
The Nick taking somebody else. Anybody else got any goddamn right here? Anybody right here?
And get your taxes done. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Nick, take us out, man.
Again, shout out to Jasmyn for coming, the appreciation, the knowledge, the music game. Nick,
Jesse.
Alex.
and that was it.
This is the 804 podcast. Bomba Clock.
So, okay. So, we need a picture from you, and then we need to do like a quick skit.
Okay.
Get him out of here. Order of business. Signing my guy, it's the little Pharaoh. Don't have worry about the lower extremities he got in the fight. Right.
That deal he signed wasn't a good deal.
He didn't go with physical fitness.
Right.
Suge Knight.
Yep, wherever you like.
I just put my actual signature.
The good angel. Yeah, on the shoulder.
One of these days, might put this in a museum or something.
Right, yeah.
All right.
300 billion.
Diamond dollar.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we are out of here.
What accent was that?
That was like a kind of a Hungarian Turkish
Have you
accent.
ever been to Hungary
Caucus.
or
Yeah.